Wargamers, today I want to talk about the Tau Tetra. That's the Pathfinder vehicle that basically allows you to get marker light hits anywhere on the board, places where you wouldn't really be able to get marker light hits just because of range or line of sight issues with Pathfinders or other units. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we do that though, I want to say thanks for watching. If you like this video, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming 8th edition content. Alright, so the Tetra. The rules are in the Imperial Armour Index Xenos book, and it's changed pretty significantly from its previous iteration. Basically, it used to have a bunch of different marker lights that I could shoot. Now it just has one, and while that seems like a really minor change, it's really important considering how marker lights are used in 8th edition. So the basic profile is 18-inch movement. That's really nice, but of course marker lights are still heavy weapons, so you're not going to be able to use that as effectively as you might otherwise want to, considering that the whole point of this guy is to deliver marker light hits. So having 18-inch movement is good. I'd rather have that than 8-inch movement or anything else, but it kind of goes against the whole idea of using your marker lights. Weapon skill 6 up, ballistic skill 4 up, you know, the typical Tau shooting ability. Strength 4, toughness 5, which is nice, with 4 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 6, and a 4-up save. So right away you can see this is a whole lot more durable than a Pathfinder unit. Higher toughness, better save, more wounds than a single Pathfinder, but fewer wounds than you would be able to get for an equivalent number of Pathfinders. This guy is 50 points, so you could get at least 6 Pathfinders with that point, with those points. So you're actually getting fewer wounds than you would normally, but they're higher quality wounds. So there's that. Tetras start out as a unit of 2 Tetras, but you can take 2 additional Tetras for a total of 4 in the unit. They come equipped standard with a high intensity marker light, which functions just like a normal marker light, except for if it hits, it causes 3 marker light hits. So it's still just 1 shot, but if that shot lands, then you get three marker lights on the target. It also comes with 2 pulse rifles, but because of the way marker lights work, whereas if you shoot one, you can't shoot any other weapons, those pulse rifles are really only ever going to be used in Overwatch or, you know, some oddball situation. They don't really contribute that much to the unit as a whole. Yeah, it has For the Greater Good special rule, as you might expect, and the Shadow Strike ability, which basically is a outflank ability. You can set it up anywhere on the tabletop, more than 9 inches away from a enemy unit at the start of the game. So this is really the beneficial thing about the Tetra, is that it allows you to set up in places where maybe the opponent is hiding behind a building, Pathfinders can't see it, you don't have a good way of getting marker lights on it. Tetras can solve that issue. They also offer some deep strike protection. If you set these guys out in the middle of the board, the opponent can't deep strike within 9 inches of them, so there's that. So this is really the main benefit of Tetras. They have this ability that allows them to access units in a way differently than Pathfinders, and that's nice. But when we compare Tetras to Pathfinders as our marker light source, there are a couple pitfalls that make Tetras just not as good. The first is that you're not getting as many marker lights for the points. So for the points, like I said, you could get 6 Pathfinders for that cost, and that's 6 marker lights hits potentially. Here you're only getting 3, so that's half the efficiency of Pathfinders in terms of marker light hits, and it's even worse if the Tetra moves. So that's not great. It also suffers from the changes to the way that marker lights work in the FAQ. If you have a unit of Pathfinders and they fire their marker lights, you fire them one at a time. Pathfinder A shoots, okay, let's say he hits. Now all the subsequent Pathfinders get to re-roll their ones, and so on and so forth. So the abilities stack, the marker light bonuses stack within the unit even, Whereas because we're only firing one hit for a Tetra, you're only gonna, get that result. You're not going to be able to benefit from the +1 to get the second and third hits on a single marker light hit. It's just a single shot. Either you make it or you don't. You don't get to kind of build up like you do with a Pathfinder unit. So that's a really big deal. That really hurts the application of those marker lights. Ideally, I would have rather had the Tetra just have like 4 marker lights on it. Instead of having one where if it hits it gives you 3, I'd rather just have like 4 standard marker lights where maybe I'd only get 2 on average, but at least I have opportunity to use multiple marker lights in a systematic order, or split them, or do all sorts of things. So it just doesn't sit well with me that it's a one-shot pass or fail, and if you get it, you get 3, which is nice, but I'd rather have individual marker lights on this guy. Yeah. So I think the way that you would want to use Tetras is to deploy them in order to get those marker lights in unique situations, protect against deep striking, and when you actually want to use the marker lights, ideally you would have something like a Fireblade throw the initial marker light out, starting the cascade, and then throw your Tetra on top of it. Maybe get 2 marker lights on something, and then the Tetra can basically finish that target off and get you to the full 5 marker lights. That seems like a good way to actually achieve 5 marker lights on something, is just with a Tetra shooting at it. So there's that. That's one way to use it. But overall, I just think it's too expensive for what you get. I would rather have more Pathfinders or marker drones or something like that than a Tetra. It just doesn't seem worth it. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're using Tetras and they're working out great for you, I'd love to hear about it. But whatever your experience is, please put in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and of course, happy wargaming.